And they are getting started. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. We got ourselves yet another fantastic set of tournament races here. This is the final bracket for our fall edition tournament series. We got Swarm versus Superds. Swarm is on the left, Superds is on the right. For the start of this race, for reference, every race is going to be best 2 out of 3. So in order to win the actual match, you have to win at least 2 races. And in between each race, there's an opportunity for bans and counter picks to happen. I'll explain it as it happens, but essentially the idea is that the winning player gets to ban one of the presets, and then the losing player gets to pick from the remaining 4, giving a sort of counter pick advantage to the loser, kind of as a way for them to get back into the set. But overall, this has been a pretty interesting system. We did it last year, and a lot of people seem to enjoy it, so we're bringing it back. And we're starting off with Safe Logic as our first preset here. And for those that have seen the preliminary races or the bracket matches up to this point, will know that Safe Logic is kind of volatile, to say the least. It is the largest complexity requirement out of all of the Rune Sword as the starting weapon. Nice. And it one-shots, and Dark Shield as well. All right. So Safe Logic has a lot of nuances to it. The idea of Safe is it's kind of designed to be a starting point. Not even starting point's the wrong word. It is, if you have knowledge of like beating the game normally, you should, in theory, be able to beat a Safe Logic seed without anything going awry. And it should give you a randomized but close to similar experience to playing the game normally. And of course, speedrunners don't like playing the game normally. They like skipping a lot of stuff. They like going fast. So because of that, Safe Logic ends up being a little bit slower than other presets. And we're already seeing immediately a huge power play from Swarm using the library card early. This is indeed a gamble, but he does have a sellable. He has a sellable in his inventory, and Superds opts to do the same thing. Is keeping the Rune Sword worth it? Potentially. Let's see what's in the shop. Leapstone immediately. Not a bad call. Library cards in the shop, but they have a sellable. So I think they're going even depending on how much this sells for. Swarm, you have a sellable. Superds realizes it, immediately takes off the sellable, and immediately, oh, but it's only $150. Never mind, I lied. Doesn't matter. My bad. I'm not a big, oh, Ring of Ares, that could also be a sellable. I would check that if I was Swarm. I would check to see if that's a sellable. Come on, you could buy another library card. That's huge. One of the big reasons why using your library card early is such a bad, like, gamble, potentially, is because you lose out on the library card. But if you're able to make up for it by immediately buying a second one, then you have basically an endless line of library cards at your disposal. And a Garnet just dropped free. No, wait, that was the Silver Ring. I lied. Silver Ring is just called Garnet. I really don't like this play. Both of them are opting to not check it to see if it's a sellable? Isn't Ares always Ares? No. Superds did check it, and it's the Ring of Fenor. Never mind. Well, then, whatever. I missed that part. Regardless, that does bring up the interesting conundrum of watching a Safe Logic race where if you're confused, don't worry, so am I. Because Safe Logic will randomize the names and the sprites of items such that the only way to really determine, outside of very specific things, the only way to determine what kind of item you actually have in your inventory is to read its description. Which is why I was saying to open the menu and read the description. So, you know, it is like that. This early library card is interesting. Knowing that there was access to library cards later, if you had money, though, is definitely going to weigh on these competitors, I feel like. I feel like they're going to both, even though they both end up in the same exact situation, I feel like both of them are going to feel like they're behind. Oh, Heartbrooch, that's another Zircon, because we saw the Heartbrooch before sold as a Zircon. So, yeah. Interesting, both of them are opting to go here. I mean, I guess that makes sense. This is really tough because routing early library card like this, using library to skip death and keep your starting equipment, is something that happens so incredibly rarely. So, like, these players are going to have to go back to Castle Entrance at some point to check the Cube of Zoe location. They're going to have to check Spirit Orb all the way in Marble Gallery at some point. At least I presume that that's on their mind, unless they plan on just abandoning all those checks. That's why I'm wondering why the competitors didn't opt to warp to the entrance immediately from Outer Wall. Because, like, it's the fastest check that you can immediately do. Granted, it's a layer 0 check, but so is your Leapstone. So maybe in their mind, they're like, okay, layer 0 is Leapstone, so let's just immediately go to the next layer by going to a place that's guarded by Leapstone. It just sucks because, like, if it's not here in Castle Keep, all of this movement is wasted. Outside of, I guess, getting the warp, which is also, like, a fair equity play. Like, you are attempting to get a warp by doing this, the warp in Castle Keep, which is fine. It's just not as efficient as it could be. Because not only that, you, like, might have to come back here to check Fire of Bat later. So, I don't know how I feel about this, but this really just comes down to if Leapstone has something good for us. I mean, you also have the option to maybe dive kick off of the Flea Riders and get lucky. We'll see if Swarm goes for it. I think it's always worth going for it. Yep. Oh, good pattern. Uh-oh. He's too high. Very rare sight of the Flea Riders getting you too high, but I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, Gravity Boots is here. So this turns out to be the correct play. That's pretty good. Oh, and Jewel of Opens immediately rewarded afterwards. Damn, never mind. I'm so dumb. How dumb am I for thinking that you should, like, do more checks? To be fair, this location and the castle, the Coliseum check, it's a 50-50. Leapstone unlocks exactly 2 extra locations, which is the check that they're doing right here. Leapstone unlocks itself. Leapstone unlocks Leapstone, as well as Leapstone unlocks the Form of Mist check as well. Swarm, where are you going? Yeah, brother, you got another check. He's going to skip Ghost card, and that might be it. Well, no, Super's is still quite a ways up behind. So Swarm isn't necessarily letting go of his lead, but he did waste a little bit of time. And it's Spike Breaker. Interesting. Yeah, so one thing that you could always know, if you find like a equipment item, like a chest piece, or a accessory item like a ring or something like that, in a relic location, 99% of the time, it's just the thing. It's just a Spike Breaker or a ring or glasses. Holy Glasses is another one if you see a headpiece. So, yeah, it is interesting to note that Jewel of Open and Spike Breaker are on the same layer. They're both guarded by Flight. Super's doing some extra item checks. I don't know how I feel about these item checks. I think Swarm has the right idea, where you did death skip because you had good equipment at the start. So, like, you know, interesting. It was a familiar card, and Swarm is not checking Castle Entrance, specifically the Power of Wolf location. I wonder if he plans on combining it in the caverns later, or maybe he's just skipping it. He did already find a flight-locked progression relic, being Jewel of Open, so maybe in his mind he's like, oh, I don't need to check more flight locations yet, because it's... Oh, you need that, brother. You need Soul of Wolf. It unlocks the All Rocks locations. All Rocks and Akmadon. Soul of Wolf is definitely... You don't want to miss that. Superbirds, on the other hand, opting to not check anything in Entrance or Alchemy Lab, maybe saving it for later, which is an interesting call, and is instead going straight into the caverns, it seems? Okay. This could pay off. This isn't, like, wrong or bad necessarily. Essentially, at this point, you're just kind of chasing the complexity as much as you can. Which I respect. I think it's a fine decision, but it's all going to come down to, ooh, Ring of Vlad. So Superbirds will have to go back to Alchemy Lab at some point to grab that random Vlad relic. Interesting question. Is Soul of Wolf part of the complexity chain? Kind of. I think technically, Jewel of Open doesn't have to necessarily lead to progression in this scenario because Wolf leads to All Rocks, right? So it's possible that Jewel of Open is actually bait, and instead the next progression location is supposed to be All Rocks, the boss fight itself with All Rocks, because you need a transformation to get to that boss fight and then get the Echo relic. So Swarm also kind of doing a more like full approach to checking these items and these relics. What was that? Is that another Vlad relic? That was another Vlad relic. Boners. Rise up. So if Superds doesn't come back for this at some point, I mean, he's going to have to do entrance. He's going to have to do Alchemy Lab. Presumably, as long as he doesn't forget, he's going to also check that location as well. Poison Executioner Sword with decent enough stats, I guess. If you want like a normal sword, I guess it's worth equipping. That Scimitar. Swarm completely dripped out, all purple. Looking swag as hell. Supert's misfiring. Goes for the Soul Steal second try. Finding a few potion items and a headpiece. We won't know what those are necessarily right away. Yeah, the only downside to Terminus Est, aka the Poison Executioner Sword, is that it's poison element, and some enemies or bosses will either resist or completely be immune to poison. So... Ooh, Power of Sire. Cool pickup for Swarm. Super's, on the other hand, using the Forbidden Weapon, a.k.a. Rune Sword. I think we'll pretty much know, because it seems like Swarm is either fully aware of the situation or is just trying to find as many random Vlads as possible, and he's trying to do as many checks as possible before going to the caverns. You know, it would actually be wild if Merman Statue is at All Rocks, which leaded to progression into the caverns. That's very possible. I do find it interesting that Wolf, Jewel, and Spikebreaker all shared the same complexity layer. That's not super often that happens in Safe Logic, because Safe Logic requires 9 minimum complexity. So having so many overlapping complexity options is interesting. What was there? Was it nothing? I wasn't looking at Swarm's screen. I didn't get a chance to see what was there. It was the J? Oh, he's not getting the J. Wow. You hate to see it. Ooh, Holy Glasses. That's probably just the progression relic then, or progression item. Superts picks up Holy Glasses, so the next progression item is probably just in the second castle. Wow. I believe Safe Logic is the highest complexity preset, yes. Wolf could still matter, because Wolf could guard an important relic in the second castle behind... it could guard the relic that's guarded by Akmadon. Also, a random Vlad could exist at Aurochs, so it's not that Wolf isn't necessarily going to lead to progression. It's just, as far as in logic goes, it is no longer the progression item. It was just Jewel of Open into the caverns to get Holy Glasses. So now here's the real question. What does Superts do with these glasses? Does Superts do super early, immediate go to second castle, or does Superts clear out the first castle as much as possible? Superts was thinking about going to Merman Statue and said, never mind, I don't want to. Interesting. With 0 Vlad relics, Superts is beelining it essentially straight to Gemstone plus 15 strength. Nice. Probably Spikebreaker is my guess. The Spikebreaker location. With a save split? Okay. It's an interesting idea. This is a weird save split. I've never seen someone save split on this side. Normally they start the save split in caverns, but interesting. You know what? I don't know if this is faster or not, but it's different. I don't think I've seen someone save split this way before. So never mind. Super is going to go to Merman instead. Okay. Now, will Superts do entrance afterwards is another question. Banana. Swarm definitely has the relic advantage, having the 2 random Vlad relics already found. Superts, however, is farther along in the caverns. So we'll have to wait and see.
Tribute. You steal men's souls
G-Cub.
and make them your slaves.
Appreciate the 8 months. Oh, Superts finds nothing? Oh, it's Power of Mist. Really not amazing to find. Obviously, Power of Mist is great, but without Form of Mist, it doesn't really matter. It's probably not worth keeping if you're trying to save split this as Superts. You probably still save split this if there's nothing at entrance. Which, as of right now, we do not know what's at entrance. So we will see. I do like the idea of dive kicking through these rooms when you don't have any other movement option. Just dive kicking over and over again. It's pretty fast. You'll dive kick off of zombies and the bloody zombies, hopefully, so that way you don't take extra damage. So, yeah, you reset if you're Superts. Yeah, this is a good save split. Okay, not bad. Interesting save split technology that is paying off for Superts. Now, the question is, will Swarm just skip that stuff? Because he has 2 Vlad relics already, so he has a little bit more confidence in potentially the idea of skipping for the chance of a random Vlad. Especially after you find Holy Glasses, you're pretty like, okay, I don't think I need to worry so much about getting like another progression relic in the caverns. What is Swarm doing? Swarm going for some crazy wolf tech that did not pay off. You know, I like the heart. I like the idea behind it. I always appreciate people willing to experiment and try different movement ideas. Oh, goes for it again. The wolf, unfortunately, kind of getting tossed around. But this is the idea. You want to use the wolf to traverse this section a little bit faster. But unfortunately, doesn't clear that gap. And honestly, was it even faster to begin with? I don't know. Oh, all of your MP is gone now. Ooh, another random Vlad in the mines for Superts. That's Superts first. No, that's not a Gur thing. It's the Terminus Est, the poison sword. Ooh, Swarm is doing this with no save split. This is going to save Superts a lot of time, because Swarm is going to have to do some major backtracking with basically no magic. And both of these relics are duds. So that was actually a really clutch save split from Superts. Also in an interesting location. Most people opt to do that kind of save split in the caverns, but doing it in the mines, you know, why not, I guess. Superts going for yet another save split. Probably going to check Grand Falloon first in that scenario, because Grand Falloon is more likely to just be a random Vlad entirely. Yep, Superts opting to go to Grand Falloon right now. Saving the Spike Breaker check for last, because Spike Breaker is much more likely to have something good. The reason being is because Spike Breaker is guarded behind 3 relics. And the way that complexity pans out most of the time. It's a pattern where anything that's in the game that is guarded by multiple relics, especially multiple relics that are not easy to find early game, oftentimes leads to big rewards, like either the final Vlad relic or like a gold ring, for example, for supers, which might lead to the final Vlad relic, stuff like that. It lets you skip deeper into the complexity chain more often than not, and you're able to get through that room in various different ways. You don't need the intended relics because supers already has Spike Breaker, so because of that, he can do the Spike Breaker location out of logic and maybe even save a lot of time by doing so. Yeah, the randomized sprites and randomized names do trip a lot of people up. It's one of the reasons why safe logic is one of the hardest to understand at a glance what's going on, and it does require a lot more attention. Even as a player, you need to be very much on point with being able to read descriptions quickly. Decision-making around items and doing that fast is very tough to do. Ooh, doesn't check to see if that's a shield rod. I guess it doesn't matter that much, but shield rod could have been nice. Just because it was the shape of one club means that it could have been any of the clubs, and shield rod does count as a club, so. Swarm with 3 Vlad relics. The final relic, we don't know where it is yet. It's probably somewhere in the first castle. Most of the time it is, especially, yeah, it has to be in the final Vlad relic has to be in the first castle because Glasses was found so early. Swarm goes and picks up the items. What was said to be Dragon Helm and Firebrand? Interesting. Swarm again, no save splits. But Swarm is also taking advantage of the Wolf and Power of Wolf combination to maybe save a little bit of time here and there over Supers. Oh, that's a library card. Both of these players are going to have access to that library card because of that. What was that new sword that Supers picked up? Oh, that's a Vorpal Blade. Nice. Okay, so as long as Swarm does those item checks, that's pretty good. I didn't see the stats on the Vorpal, but hey, a Vorpal is good to have no matter what. Oh, and it's Merman. Do you library card here? Really? I think it's up in the air which route is faster. I think it's technically faster to backtrack from this location in most scenarios. And Superds figures it out. Superds did a little bit of thinking and is like, which is the faster route? And decides to not library card and instead to go this way. Swarm, on the other hand, I'm curious to see what Swarm's going to do. Because Swarm didn't go to Granfaloon yet, right? Am I seeing that? I don't think he went to Granfaloon, right? Doesn't pick up the sword. Oh, just kidding. He second guesses and says, no, that sprite looks pretty cool. I'm going to pick it up. So Swarm has the library card, probably has enough money to buy a second one, and has the Vorpal now. So they're pretty much on even footing equipment and item-wise, which is nice. It's nice to have a fair race in that regard. I think Swarm is still technically in the lead. Oh, that Mana Prism is real, by the way. Mana Prism is one of the few items that retains the same name no matter what. The sprite is randomized, but the name is always the same. Yeah, Swarm is likely going to skip Granfaloon altogether. That's my guess. I mean, you got 3 out of the 5 Vlad relics. You know one of the Vlad relics has to be pretty much guaranteed at Holy Symbol. So that means there's only one random Vlad left. The odds of that one random Vlad being at Granfaloon is so low when you have so many other locations left in the game that skipping Granfaloon in this scenario is probably fine. It's you know, just a numbers game at that point. And that's the thing about being a top player in Randomizer is sometimes you just have to make the value play to save time. Especially if you're racing against people who are really good at the game. The difference between like 1 or 2 relic skips for at the top level is enough to just like turn a race into a blowout. If everybody played with honor and was forced to check every location, then maybe things would be different, but that's not how it works. All that matters is you get the 5 Vlad relics, you get the holy glasses, and that's it. I mean, I'm like, I don't see a world where this isn't. This is either the final Vlad or it's like Mist or Gold Ring, I guess. Those are the only options. So I guess this technically doesn't have to be the final Vlad, but it's more likely to be the final Vlad in my mind. Because the second castle probably has either Echo or maybe Mist or Bat. Because there was so much progression layered on top of each other, I'm pretty sure there's like no more bait left in the seed. I'm pretty sure there's no more bait left. Because they had 3 relics on the same complexity chain. So yeah, this is going to be Mist into the final Vlad relic being locked behind Mist is my guess. It cannot be Bat because Bat was required to get to Spikebreaker. So in logic, Bat is not a possible option. I don't think it can be the ring either, because my guess is that the gold ring is probably the thing that unlocks Soul of Bat. And then the gold ring is just in the second castle. Or it could be Echo there as well, and Bat is in the second castle. Regardless, the last Vlad relic is locked behind Mist. I'm pretty sure is guaranteed. And Swarm is going to grab it soon, too. Honestly, Swarm, I feel like, has a pretty sizable lead because of those random Vlads. I don't know if Superds is even going to check Entrance or Alchemy Lab, because Superds has to do all of Alchemy Lab still. And has to do at least Spirit Orb. Where Swarm has already done all of that and is almost caught up, like, in the moment. He's only about, like, a minute behind where Superds is, but he's done more checks, so... Also, that Vorpal is doing insane damage, it feels like. Yeah, immediately you just buy more library cards. Oh, it was Force of Echo. I mean, you have to check it, right? So it's going to be at Silver Ring. Silver Ring is the next progression item. I mean, it's a 50-50 whether it's Soul of Bat or if it's at Silver Ring. That's just how it works. Because at this point, you already have Spikebreaker in Logic. You already have Jewel of Open in Logic. So the only things that guard you from the Silver Ring location is Mist, Jewel of Open, and Spikebreaker. So because Mist was the last to be found out of those options, Mist covers both options, basically. Whereas, for example, if you found Mist first, and then you found Spikebreaker later, Spikebreaker tells you that Silver Ring is the only option between the two, if that makes sense. Because Mist doesn't have to be progression specifically to unlock the Soul of Bat location. All right, well, what does Superds do in this scenario? He's going this way? Uh-oh. I think Superds loses this. Because Superds isn't checking Alchemy Lab. Because if you wanted to check Alchemy Lab, you'd go to the Warp Room. If you wanted to go to... you're not going to check... Superds is not checking Spirit Orb. Superds is beelining it specifically to Silver Ring. But doing it this way, which feels weird. I feel like even if you're beelining it to Silver Ring, you still go from Castle Keep. You warp to Castle Keep. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Superds also wants to do all rocks as well along the way. That's fair. But not doing Alchemy Lab and probably skipping Spirit Orb is going to lose Superds the race because those places have 2 Vlad relics, you know? It just goes to show that, like, skipping relic locations is really tough to do early game without other Vlad relics. Swarm is much more confident in skipping skipping locations because there's only one random Vlad left, and he knows that. Where Super's just skipped 2 Vlad relics by skipping 3 locations, which is really unfortunate to have like a bad success rate. Like, you know, you skip 3 locations and 2 of them happen to be Vlad relics. That is like, in theory, like, oh, I just got unlucky. But also, you chose to skip 3 locations with only 1 Vlad relic known. That is a little bit greedy, in my opinion. So there is like skill in understanding that you want to have at least a couple of Vlad relics under your belt before you go crazy skipping stuff. At least that's my philosophy. Unless you're in a scenario where you're like guaranteed to know that it's nothing. So, 4 locations. Yeah, you're right, Count Cranberry, because Cube of Zoe is also a location that Superts has skipped. Yeah, skipping 4 locations with 1 Vlad relic in your inventory feels really bad. He's skipping 5? Do I not know how to count? What do you mean skipping 5? What are the 5 he's skipping? We got Cube of Zoe, Alchemy Lab has 2, and then Spirit Orb. Four in Alchemy Lab? You think there's 4 relics in Alchemy Lab? Fire of Bat? Wait, have neither of these players checked Fire of Bat yet? No, Supert's checked Fire of Bat. He went back for it, didn't he? Oh, Swarm did, not Supert's. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think Supert's just gave up then. Or is just saying, YOLO, I hope I win. Which is a fair strategy, I guess. Oh, using Mist to get through the Aurochs. Oh, that doesn't feel good. Oh. Okay. Interesting. I thought this was just going to be the last Vlad Relic, but I guess it's Gold Ring into the last Vlad Relic. That's fair. Did Swarm open up this shortcut? No, he didn't. Wow. Okay, so Superts will at least have this shortcut, and maybe Superts will finish clearing the first castle after getting Gold Ring? Maybe? I doubt it, though. This gives Superts a second chance, at the very least, because he's going to backtrack through Alrox's quarters to get to Marble Gallery. And once he's in Marble Gallery to grab Holy Glasses, he'll have the opportunity, if he wants to go to the left to check Spirit Orb. And maybe even check Alchemy Lab. The only downside is if you take that route and you haven't opened the warp in Castle Entrance, you go through Alchemy Lab and then you're just stuck there. So even then, that's a bad idea. So no matter what, Superts is screwed. Oh. I forgot that neither of them have checked Aurochs yet. I thought Swarm already did that. No! No! We're going to be here forever! Swarm is skipping Aurochs! Well, you know, this is an infinite race. This honestly got so interesting very fast. This race is going to be determined by who figures out they fucked up first, because they both fucked up. Oh, baby. All 5 relics in the first castle. I don't blame Swarm for skipping it, because in his mind, he's like, there's no way all 5 Vlad relics are in the first castle. That's so unlikely. Surely, there's just a random Vlad floating somewhere in the second castle. I'm just going to skip everything, because I know that Holy Glasses has to be the final Vlad relic. You gotta love it. You know what? I was kind of like, I don't know about this seed. Like, this race, it feels like Swarm just has like such a massive advantage. I feel bad for Super. Super skipped a lot. Like, this is why safe logic is so hard, because you want to skip stuff because you know your opponent is skipping stuff. But then they both skip key relics, each of them skipping 2 separate random Vlads, essentially. And then things get spicy. Swarm, on the other hand, not using a library card. Uh-oh. If Swarm's not using a library card, then that means he's going to Alrox's quarters? Regardless. So now the question is he going there because of the warp and he forgot he has library cards? Or is he going there to go fight Alrox? If he goes to fight Alrox, it's over. It's GG's. If he goes to the second castle, things get very interesting. So we're either going to be done with this seed in like the next, I don't know, like 5 or 6 minutes, or we're going to be here for like another hour. And either way, I'm here for it. Oh! Yes! 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 We're here forever now. You and me forever. That's right. We're stuck in here forever as we watch them roam around, not knowing what's going on. Welcome to hell. Welcome to Safe Logic. This is going to be fun. All righty. Forever and ever. Forever. Oh, man. This is going to be great. I can't wait to figure out. Yeah, Swarm is going to full clear the second castle and be so mad. Superds skipped like 10 bajillion checks. Superds obviously is going to do something about this, right? You only got 2 Vlad relics in your inventory. You're thinking to yourself, there's got to be more. I think Superds might win this. I think Superds has the brain to realize I probably don't have all of the Vlad relics in the first castle, right? I mean, to be fair, statistically speaking, 3 Vlad relics in the first castle and 2 in the second castle is like the average. That's the way it kind of averages out. But that doesn't mean every seed is like that. For example, we have all 5 in the first castle. So Superds also not using a library card, which means Superds has the potential to go crazy sicko style right here. He's doing it. He's actually doing it. He's actually doing it. Now, the question is, will Superds be deterred by doing Alchemy Lab because of the lack of, I mean, Superds has to do Alchemy Lab next. Will Superds not do Alchemy Lab because it's like, I don't know if I mean, he's not library carding, so he's going to go do Alchemy Lab, isn't he? Yeah, this is going to be a big upset. Most people put their points on Swarm, but I think Superds is doing Alchemy Lab next. Yeah, Superds says, I don't care if it's a bad route. I'm just going to do it, I guess. Maybe Superds... Oh, I mean, I guess they have a library card, so I guess, yeah, you don't care if you can't warp out of there. I forgot. Yeah, library cards makes this less scary of a route decision. All right, Superds wins. Aww. I kind of wanted them to both full clear the second castle. Man. To be fair, Superds does have to, like, finish the seed, but... Yeah, Swarm has essentially 0 chance now. Oh, hi, Slogger and Gaibon. I forgot about them. Nice. Oh, my God. GG's. Why aren't you library carding? Superds. Okay, thank you. Obviously, he has the stream open, and he's listening to my advice. This is a joke. There's delay. He probably opened the menu before I even said it out loud. Before everyone's like, oh, cheat! Oh, I lost points, so it must be cheat. Yeah, no, this is GG's for Superds. Honestly, if you're going to lose a safe logic seed, you want it to be like this, where it's over in like 45 minutes. It'll be like 47 minutes. Much better than losing an hour and a half long safe logic slog, which could happen. Safe logic can be absolutely brutal depending on the relic distribution, where you end up playing the game forever. Yes, this is best 2 out of 3. That's why there's a 0 at the end over there and over there, because that is how many races they have won. This is race number 1. Yeah, losing a race after that much time is tough. I mean, losing a race in general is tough, but it's not out of the question, you know? I could see Swarm counterpicking Nimble. Superds might ban it. I should be a teacher. Sure. You know what? Actually, you're right. I'm done streaming. I've realized my potential. Why am I spending my time online when I could help the youth of today? I'm becoming a teacher right now. All right, see you guys. Thanks for stopping by, but I'm gonna go. I'm actually deleting my Twitch channel right now, and I'm gonna go. Oh wait, teachers are illegal in Florida? Damn it! Never mind. Sorry guys, it's outlawed. Yeah, no, it's a new law. You're not allowed to teach in Florida. It's illegal. Shit. They outlawed the idea of passing knowledge to one another. So. Yeah, it'd be like that. Yeah, you're right. We should get Dragon Blitz Daily in here as a co-commentator. Hold on. I have an idea. Let me real quick ask my co-commentator to join us. Do you mind hopping in for a few choice words? Tell me, how do you feel about this race?
Is that Dragon Blitz guy gone?
No, I'm right here.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy, Dragon Blitz Daily.
I'm asking, how do you feel about the race?
If you're in chat, make sure to type !2.
Is he even listening to me?
Subscribe to Dragon Blitz Daily. Screw that Dragon Blitz guy. He's dumb and stinky and stupid. I'm the streamer
you know
now.
What?
It's me.
Shut up. We don't want you here anymore. I wanted you to help commentate, but obviously, whatever. Just get out. Please leave. Could you please? Thank you. What an asshole. He does have a sick hat. I am jealous. Poor Swarm. Just like, got the soul of Bat. That's nice. Where was it? Akmadon? I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, it must have been Akmadon. Well, Superts is going to be finishing this with no soul of Bat, but will be faster. All right, hold on. This is basically a done deal for this tournament race, but I do actually really quickly. Oh, I'm too slow. I was going to show you guys something Beans was doing, but he moved. Damn it. We'll get him next time. The next time, if he does it again, I'll get him. Yeah, if Superds dies, then maybe we'll have a bit of a competition. Maybe I mean, there's zero reason to forfeit in these tournament races. I think you're technically... it's not against the rules necessarily to forfeit, but it would be kind of stupid to do so. Choosing top route is an interesting decision. I guess you're just going to kill them with your Vorpal that does 10 quadrillion damage for some reason. Sure. Top route's scary, though. No, that Vorpal is shredding. How much... What are the stats on that Vorpal? Like, what weapon is it borrowing its stats from? I really want to know. I think exclamation mark bracket is also working. I believe that is the correct bracket for this tournament. Yeah, the Dark Metamorphosis actually helped out healing Superds. Oh, is that the wrong bracket link? I'll fix it then. Yeah, that was the old tournament. That does remind me, I need to update the tournament standings as well while I'm here. Let's go ahead and... Nice. And then we'll do this. We'll do this. Come on, Superds, you can do it. I believe in you. Oh, Swarm going to Creature. Interesting decision. It's definitely going to pay off, though. Now you stop skipping stuff, huh, Swarm? Should have been more thorough the first time. All right, Superds definitely got this. All right. Exclamation mark bracket has been updated. Yeah, I can create events in the long library for the tournament matches. I've just been so busy that, like, I haven't been doing anything else except for, like, exactly what I have to do for these matches. Here we are, 47-17. Nice. GG's, Superds for the finish. Swarm sees it, forfeits immediately. All right. Good race, good race. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to set up for the next one. We're going to see what Superds decides to ban, what Swarm decides to counterpick. We're going to find all that out in just a little bit here. All right, we are back. Let me update the score counter with race. Number 2, Superds is in the lead, 1-0 over Swarm. The counter pick from Swarm was Warlock. So Warlock is a completely different randomizer preset compared to Safe Logic. Warlock is part of kind of the... it's a similar vein to like Lycanthrope. There's a lot of like kind of gimmick or like themed presets that exist on SotN.io. And one of them is Warlock. So the idea of Warlock is you're going to start with 99 intelligence. So your intelligence is very high. The rest of your stats are quite low. It's similar to luck mode in that regard. I think your HP is normal, but the rest of your stats are pretty bad, like your strength and everything else. So high intelligence, bad stats otherwise. You also start with the Mist Relic, so Form of Mist. And on top of that, the Mist Relic has 0 cost to it. So because of that, you can Mist whenever you want for free. It doesn't cost mana to do so. This means that you can move with Mist once you have Mist and Power of Mist and fly infinitely, and you don't have to worry about that. But also, it unlocks kind of this niche movement tech that isn't viable in the normal game because it costs too much magic to do, which is solo Mysterizing. The idea is you can gain height by transforming upwards in Mist form, and if you hold the jump button to slow your fall and you're able to time your Mist transformations very quickly, you can actually gain height. And we're going to see Swarm go for it pretty much immediately. The question is, will Superds opt to do it as well? Skull Shield and Shield Rod is at the start, and Superds is skipping it. Okay. So I think this is one of the reasons why Superds didn't particularly want to race this as a starting preset. And Swarm is keeping this as kind of a powerful counter pick because the tech to do this is not necessarily easy. Oh, wow. You know, sometimes, is the prediction still running? You know, maybe I'm going to have to, you know, don't read too much into it, guys. It can end the submissions, please, for the love of God. Okay. Well, That's the thing. It takes about an extra minute to do that one check. But if you find something good early, and he has access to death skip. He can death skip if he saves his wing smash. He gets to keep his equipment because of this. Oh my god, this is so broken. This was a question that was brought up before, because this isn't the first time this has happened while the racers have been practicing Warlock. In practice races, Soul of Bat has been found at castle entrance in that spot, and I told them, if it happens, you are allowed to skip death this way. It is allowed because it's hype. Now, I didn't think that it would end up like this. Swarm has the go-ahead. He knows that it's okay, and he's able to perform death skip, and he has Soul of Bat early. Huge lead. Wow, I don't even know what to say. Congratulations, Swarm, for evening it up. It's going to be 1-1 in the set. In the meantime, we do have to watch the race. Oh my god. This is why one of the reasons why this entire tournament format exists is I am putting on a tournament to find who is the best at Symphony of the Night Randomizer. Not one particular preset, but the randomizer as a whole. And the randomizer itself has many different incarnations, many different presets that exist. I tried to pick the ones that are the most consistent or maybe the most competitive. So being prepared in all of the 5 presets that these players have known about for months at this point, a little over a month. So they've had a lot of time to practice these presets. Feeling unable to do some of the premier tech that is required of a preset like this is kind of a throw, in my opinion. Also, on top of that, maybe Superts is I'm up a game. Maybe I don't want to focus really hard on this tech that I'm not comfortable with and second guess myself because of my performance might be worse. But it's just showing up in the worst possible ways, because now Superts is out the Soul of Bat, and he might have to backtrack for these checks later. Oh, and Spike Breaker early, bruh. Storm is catching up. I mean, he's got the Soul of Bat. He's got the one relic that makes movement quite trivial. He also has some dial-up connection, it seems, because he is dropping frames. That is not me. That is not you guys. That's Swarm. Swarm is the one. He's stuttering like that because of his internet connection. That's pretty much the best case scenario for doing that check in Warlock mode, by the way, is finding the Soul of Bat. That's literally best case scenario. So that's just kind of unlucky for Superts. I mean, it's a counter pick for a reason. The reason we have counter picks in the first place is to let players take advantage of the fact that they might feel comfortable or might know the discomfort of another player and try and take advantage of that. It creates a very unique racing dynamic, a really unique competitive dynamic that you're not really going to find in other tournament formats. Oh, and another Vlad relic is found. This is looking like 5 Vlad relics in the first castle, bro. Oh, and he got an MP refill glitch. Cool. Cool, Swarm. Nice. Swarm literally cheating, using glitches, skipping death. Unfair. He used skill to oh, and he's just straight up in the lead. Wow, I can't believe he would use his skills as a player to get an advantage. Someone should ban him from the tournament. Or Swarm goes crazy and skips a Vlad relic again. That's also possible. We could, you know what? Hold on. What if Swarm skips a Vlad relic? Let's think about this. We don't know. Super, you know what this is? This is a classic story. We've heard it a million times before of the tortoise and the hare. Ooh, another Vlad relic that hurts. Obviously, Superts is going with the slow and steady approach. Swarm is getting ahead of himself. He's going very quickly. He might even get arrogant at some point. He might take a nap in the middle of the race thinking, I'm so far ahead. There's no way Superts catches up. You know what? I'm skipping all rocks again. And if he were to do that, Superts would eventually get the soul of Bat himself and make the comeback. 22-minute seed, that would make this a world record, probably. I don't think a Warlock seed has ever been finished in, like, less than 25 minutes, if I had to guess. I think Swarm is ahead 4 checks and is just straight up ahead on movement, too. Rough. Very rough. Oh. Oh. This is going to be a 22-minute seed. Holy shit. Not only that, the max complexity for Warlock is much lower than safe. I think it's 6 is the minimum. If I remember correctly, it's been a while. It's hard to remember all the numbers, but I believe Warlock is minimum 6. Which means... Where was Spikebreaker again? Spikebreaker was flight locked. Jewel of Open was not flight locked. They started with Mist. Yeah. Silver Ring might be Holy Glasses, potentially. Is probably... Silver Ring being Holy Glasses is my current guess. It could be anything. It could be a Complexity Ring. It could be a Rando Ring. It could be a random Vlad. He's skipping all rocks again? Why? You can full clear. You can literally full... Why? Why does Swarm hate all rocks so much? Are they beefing? Drama alert, everybody, drama. The Swarm is officially beefing with All Rocks. Is upset that All Rocks doesn't look as hot as he's supposed to in this game compared to the animated series. And he's bald in this game too. The animated series All Rocks got long ass hair. So maybe that's why they're beefing. Swarm thinks he's ugly? Bald guys can be hot. Can I get a copium in the chat? My entire identity is designed around my hair. I got a beef with bald people. I'm sorry. I am like the antithesis of bald. Okay. Swarm is in the caverns. Superts is going to Castle Keep. Probably hoping to find Flight or something. Probably going to be Gravity Boots somewhere in Castle Keep is my guess. Oh, now Superts starts Wolf Rise or Mist Rising. Come on, man. Oh, Super, no, dude. Okay, I can see why he chose not to do it. He seems to lack the dexterity to Mist Rise efficiently. Unless he's doing it to skip Doppelganger. You need to be very good at this if you want to skip Doppelganger efficiently. Because if you lose too much height, like, it no longer becomes worth it. I mean, Supers, if you just did this from the start, man, like, this would be so different. This would be a completely different race. I don't know what to say. You know? That's tough. That's tough. Oh, and Merman. He can't even get baited by Merman, dude. This seed is literally just handing Swarm everything he's ever wanted on a silver platter. Wow. This is such an insane seed. Literally every relic Swarm has checked except for like 2 has been like a good relic. This is probably the biggest blowout I've seen so far in the tournament. And it's still not over. There is a world where Swarm, his internet cuts out. You know? He skips a random Vlad somehow. And then, like, forgets he's playing Symphony of the Night. Oh, Leapstone. Oh, that's rough. If you're Supers, you really wish that was Gravity Boots. That means Gravity Boots is likely, or Power of Mist is likely at Castle Keep. Or it's in the Caverns, I guess, actually. It could technically be in the Caverns. Because they don't have in-logic flight yet. Swarm, obviously, did it out of logic. And found Bat that way. Leapstone into Gravity Boots, or obviously Mist into Power of Mist is in logic flight. So we'll see where that ends up taking them. Swarm gonna save before checking Merman, or is it just a full-on skip? Oh, just refilling MP? I guess that makes sense. That way you can Wing Smash out of there. Now, does Swarm got the crispiest Wing Smashes in order to do this? Because this is one of the rooms where Wing Smashing can be quite technical. You have to Wing Smash through a very narrow room, because below you is water. If you touch the water, you're forced on Transform. And if you touch the ceiling, you'll either bonk or you'll get terrain boosted. And if you terrain boost, you'll eventually just get zipped into the water and then, get forcibly untransformed. So you have to Wing Smash from a very, very narrow amount of height to actually make it through, and you have to do Wing Smash chains, which means you have to chain the three-quarter circle motion, which means you're pressing up and pressing down at some point. So you're altering your height every time you do an infinite Wing Smash. So you have to get really good at not just infinite Wing Smashing, but infinite Wing Smashing such that you don't gain too much height and you essentially go back to where you were. Ah, close. Yeah, he was a little too high there. Sets it back up. Does he clear the rest of it? He doesn't have enough MP to do it. You know what? Good enough. Good enough. Superbirds, on the other hand, finds nothing at Soul of Bat, it seems. Rough. Dude, yeah, Superbirds just is not finding anything because Swarm is too busy finding everything. Swarm is literally finding everything. Every check he does is just good. Man. Okay, alternate win condition. The frogs just kill Swarm right here, right now. He just dies. But he already saved the game. He would just reload the save. Cube of Zoe in the shop, it seems. Along with Duplicator for its vanilla price. Ares for 8. No, for 4. Yeah, probably worth getting. The Ares is great. Yeah, additional 24 strength is great. Just great to have. Super's kind of rocking a poison build. Terminus, Night Shield, Topaz Circlet, immune to poison damage, is doing poison damage. All he needs is Gas Cloud, and his poison build is complete. Swarm finally finds a somewhat useless relic. Yeah, Swarm would need to skip a Vlad relic, and then basically it would have to be a repeat of the first game where Swarm was ahead on checks, and then just skipped a Vlad relic, and that ended up losing him the game. Swarm needs to skip at least one Vlad relic. I think it's impossible for both Grand Floon and All Rocks to have relics because one of these relics that Swarm is missing has to be the final Vlad relic, so it has to be locked behind a higher progression location. Something like, I don't know, Holy Glasses. Silver Ring I don't think is high enough complexity because they found Spike Breaker and Jewel of Open early. It's very possible that the last Vlad relic is just in the second castle, and Holy Glasses is on the 6th or the 5th layer. So, yeah, Spikebreaker location is also a possibility. Oh, Echo is right there, actually. Never mind. So that means, yeah. Echo isn't high enough complexity, I don't think, right? Because then, well, actually, maybe Holy Glasses is at Spikebreaker. Because the current complexity is something along the lines of Leapstone into Jewel of Open, into Flight, into Bat, into Glasses, into Last Vlad Relic. So yeah, that's very possible. I think Spikebreaker is going to have Glasses because of that, is my guess. Which, if that's the case, that means the Last Vlad Relic is just somewhere in the second castle, and that's a huge advantage for Swarm if that's the case. Could be complexity 7. Doesn't matter. Then it just means that the Spikebreaker location has to have something important, even if it is a higher complexity than 6, because it is 6 minimum. That means 7 is a possibility. It just means that instead of finding Glasses, you find the ring that leads to Holy Glasses, and Glasses would be vanilla, I guess. Because I mean, what else is even in here for more progression? I don't think there's anything else. Like the rings are the last like step removed, knowing all the relics that we know just from Swarm scenario perspective. Okay, that's crazy to me. Swarm out here doing the item checks, but not fighting Grand Falloon. That feels disrespectful to me. You're going that way anyways. You're going to check items but not fight them? Man, that's rude. Grand Falloon's lonely. I guess he's not that lonely. He is a amalgamation of literal bodies and entities that are all surrounding him. So maybe he's the exact opposite of lonely. Maybe we all wish to be Grand Falloon deep down inside. Perhaps that is the peak form of existence. Is in a colony of like-minded individuals all surrounding a core. A tentacle monster core. Okay, now we're looking at some weird shit. Glasses flight locked into rings into Final Vlad, I think is now the only option, right? So Glasses are just randomly flight locked, so they're probably in Castle Keep. Or maybe at Grand Falloon. Very possible as well. No, because Flight has to be Grand Falloon. I think. Right? Yeah, Flight has to be Grand Falloon. Flight cannot be Silver Ring because Flight was... Spikebreaker was locked behind Flight. So Grand Falloon is probably... It has to be Gravity Boots or it has to be Power Mist. Oh, come on. If you're just going to go this way anyways... Come on. At least we're going to find out why Swarm is beefing with Grand Falloon, maybe. Why not use Spikebreaker if he has it? Because speedrunners have rando brains sometimes. It happens. Sometimes you forget. You could also just get through with just bat movement and, like, you don't have to open the menu to equip Spikebreaker if you do it that way. So. Oh, when did he get the Asafune? I didn't notice that. That's pretty good. Asafune's pretty good. It's like an A tier weapon right there. Yes, that is correct. Spikebreaker was locked behind some form of flight. Bats cannot be the form of flight because that was also flight locked. So it's either going to be Power of Mist here or Gravity Boots. Pretty much guaranteed. Yep, Power Mist. So that was their intended flight. So now Glasses is just has to be flight locked. So it's probably, what, Fire of Bat or All Rocks. All Rocks, again, might have just had the goods. Imagine a world where you just go to All Rocks' quarters, find the Glasses there, and then just go to the second castle. Why can't it be Silver Ring? I guess it can be Silver Ring as well, right? Yeah, it could be Silver Ring. In fact, actually, it's more likely to be Silver Ring now that I'm thinking about it, right? Because then the layers would be layer 1 was Leapstone into Jewel of Open into Power of Mist into Spike Breaker into Glasses into Final Vlad. Yeah, so it's either the rings are in the second castle or the last Vlad relic is in the second castle. Or Holy Glasses is vanilla and the rings are flight locked. I think those are the only 3 possible scenarios now. Regardless, Swarm is probably going to warp to all rocks here, yeah. Yeah, just do this, yeah. Sort of Hador. Nice. Damn, this is actually worst case scenario. This seed sucks for Superts who's playing it like vanilla. Like Superts didn't do any out of logic stuff, really. And because of that is like super hardcore suffering. We're doing out of logic stuff in Warlock is just so good. It's just so good. Like Swarm is like what, 20 checks ahead at this point or something crazy? It's wild. Swarm finally going through, gonna fight all rocks this time. Beefing with the bald dude. Okay, he just swings and misses again. You love to see it. Sometimes you swing your sword so fast that you just miss. And that's okay. Superts doesn't have flight. Yep, and he's not going to have flight until he goes to Grand Falloon. Which is like the second to last check that he's going to be doing in the caverns. So, yep. This is legitimately worst case scenario for Superts. Soul of Wolf, we don't need it. We don't need it. Which is fair. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the seed pans out for Swarm here, but second castle having Final Vlad, Relic, or Relics, that's another thing. When your Final Vlad location shares multiple complexity layers with other Relic locations, you could have multiple Final Vlads. So, for example, if the 5th layer of complexity is Holy Glasses, that means the 6th layer is the Final Vlad Relic, which is the minimum that they need. But it could be multiple. You could have all 5, technically, Vlad Relics in the second castle if Holy Glasses is the second to last step. I don't think that's ever happened. Ever? But it technically could happen. You would essentially need a seed to like be close to vanilla, I feel like, for that to happen. Yeah, that was really good of Swarm to... I should give him credit. He did do the invincibility based off of the Hellfire strat, which is really cool. It's a small optimization. Before, it was kind of like required that you had a potion to use at that location for invincibility. But a small optimization is you could use Hellfire if you have the magic for it, and you don't need a potion. Swarm also could have just put on Spike Breaker yet again, but again, Swarm's just showing off all the cool tech. I mean, they are a top tier runner for a reason. The only other speedrunner to get a sub 7 clock rush, to my understanding, in the world. So, Swarm is clearly great at this game in many regards. Does he have enough MP for this trick? Oh, looks good. And he gets it. He gets the Maria skip. Nice. That's not easy to do. I think he sets it up a little bit lower than I normally would, but that's probably why he got it, honestly, because I'm pretty bad at that. It's not a trick that I really practice ever, but very nice. Yeah, might as well. Power of Sire is good. Honestly, with the advent of Vial stacking, I feel like Power of Sire is just like so much more buffed now. Because now instead of one Power of Sire only doing so much amount of damage, a Power of Sire plus any Vial, any monster Vial, is enough to like basically kill any boss in the game, sparing like Shaft. No, Shaft probably dies. Dracula and Galamoth, I think, are the only two that don't die from like a single Vial stack. So it's always an option. Yeah, no, if you're seeing ads, like that's literally impossible.
Tribute. You steal men's
Because my pre-rolls are off.
Make them your slaves.
And I'm not running ads, so I have no idea how you got ads. That's probably Twitch being weird. Glasses was flight locked. Okay, so now rings have to be involved, I'm pretty sure. Yep. Right? Final Vlad has to be at Holy Glasses now. Regardless, thank you for the sub, by the way, Twisty Tank. Sorry. I was just concerned because if Twitch is running ads on my stream when I'm not the one running the ads, that makes me very upset. Because I specifically run ads before matches, so that way they don't happen during the match. What will Swarm do? We don't know where the rando ring is. I guess the rando ring... Technically, both rings could be in the second castle. The only locations we are unaware of as spectators is Fire of Bat. Right? Is that it? I think Fire of Bat is the only location we don't know in the first castle. So Fire of Bat has to be a ring, either gold or silver ring. Otherwise, both rings are in the second castle. It looks like Swarm is going to full clear first castle, most likely, at this rate. I don't think he has a library card, so that's probably one of the reasons why he's hesitant to go to the second castle, because he doesn't have a library card to come back. Then the Sword Lords were putting in work, but Swarm gets through. Super's, on the other hand, basically finally finds flight. Is going to get baited by Spike Breaker, which is unfortunate. Let's see it. It's a ring. Okay, so that's the rando ring. The last Vlad relic is going to be at Holy Glasses. But that means a random Vlad has to be in the second castle then? I believe that is true. So yeah, the second castle is going to have one random Vlad. And I believe if Swarm full clears, he should know that. So as long as he finds a random Vlad in the second castle after full clearing, presuming he does that, or if he just goes to the second castle right now, which I think he might be doing. Yeah, he's just going to the second castle. All right, this is a good play from Swarm because as soon as he finds, he knows he's coming back to the first castle anyways, so skipping library is not that big of a deal. If you find a library card in the second castle, it saves you so much time movement-wise when you need to do those checks, presuming he still wants to do those checks. I think this is the right play. right? Because you're saving those checks for later anyways. Worst case scenario, you're missing a random Vlad in library, but you know you're going back to the first castle no matter what. Swarm is smart enough to know that the complexity chain is leading him to Holy Glasses. So because of that, he's hedging his bets such that when he comes back to the first castle, if he's missing a Vlad relic, he can check. He can then check library. But if he finds the random Vlad in the second castle, then he knows. Oh, then I know where all the Vlads are. It has to be at Holy Glasses. So I think this is the right play for sure. This is minimizing the need for backtracking, and it also turns out to be the correct play objectively because we know from Super's perspective there is no Vlad relic in the library. So it's just a straight up a good play. When you know that you need to come back to the first castle, it's okay to leave some checks in the first castle. Straight up. If you know you need to come back, it's like, okay, I'll come back for those later. Is he left side gaming? Probably not, considering he didn't grab the warp first. I don't think he's got that dog in him right now. If he goes left side with no warps, then, like, I don't know what to say. That's a certified sheesh moment from me on God, no cap. And Supers is not going to grab Soul of Bat because he's not checking castle entrance. If that's your play in Warlock, is like, I'm never going to check entrance because it's a waste of time. Man, that's rough. That's rough. Well, I will say the counterpick system, looking like it works. Looking like counterpicks can be quite strong, which is the point of them. The point of having a counterpick is so you can attempt to regain the advantage during a set. Yeah, all the info on the current tournament is found in the tournament document. You can type !tournament. !bracket will bring up the actual bracket itself. Yeah, the preliminary matches were all based to do seeding to see who got into the final bracket for one. It was top 12 make it in, as well as the matches themselves were seeded based off of their points. So everybody who is top 4 from the preliminary matches gets a bye round such that they don't have to play their first match essentially in a top 12 format. So the winner of this match goes on to play Refined Hornet. For example, earlier this week we had the match between Razio and Vey, and the winner of that match is moving on to fight Scrimps. We have Dinner Dog Godchild. The winner of that moves on to fight Matthias. And then Fire versus Ren. The winner of that moves on to fight Jupiter. Have seating on screen? I just don't know where I would put it. There's already, there's the preset, the name of the players, their timer, their trackers, which games they've won or lost. And if I just put the number, next to it, seventh seed. There's already so much on the screen, you know what I'm saying? And also the seeding kind of was just, it's a neat idea. I just don't know how I would fit it. Alrighty, it looks like Left Side Gaming might have been a play. Swarm not sticking with his guns. He was talking about being a left side gamer at one point, but I don't think he believes hard enough. No, because the issue is if I do Swarm (5), people are going to be like, what does the 5 stand for? And then I have to spend every minute being like, that's seeding based off of the preliminary matches. The preliminary matches was to determine who makes the... I'd have to have this conversation so much more often. I really don't think it's super vital information. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it would make for a better viewing experience. I'm open to the idea, but I really do think that it adds more confusion later on. Because ultimately, people are going to make up their minds about the skills of the player by watching the match overall, and the way that like I ultimately commentate it. I'd be more invested in commentating the match, but this is a cutscene straight up. I mean, Swarm is checking pretty much everything at this point, unless he skips Creature for some reason, but... You've seen a tournament broadcast list seating on the stream. Was it a Castlevania Symphony of the Night tournament broadcast? Or was it a, I don't know, maybe a fighting game tournament? Something where people kind of expect the idea of brackets to be run more regularly. Whereas most of the people watching this probably aren't always 100% aware of that. Again, I'm worried that it's going to add more confusion. Oh, you've never seen it. Fuck, never mind. Reading is hard. No, I just literally have dyslexia. I mean, I guess you grab Soul of Wolf if you're super. It's because you just want anything for faster movement. Now I feel bad? Yeah, you should feel bad. Maybe you shouldn't make fun of people. Only I'm allowed to make fun of people. No, it's fine. It's not your job to know everything about me. Interesting idea. Yeah, I would just wing smash if I was Swarm. Uh-oh. See, I would wing smash if I was Swarm, but like maybe a little bit better and not get hit. But, you know, this strat works too. Yeah, I feel like getting hit less would be better. But, you know, again, I think it'll work either way. This is looking to be uh-oh. I mean, you do have the Panic, Mist, and Power of Mist. You should never die. There you go. And are we seeing left side validated yet again? Oh no! Left side gaming was incorrect. Now the question is, Swarm has a little bit of a dilemma. When do you go back to the first castle? Probably later, because you don't have a library card yet. So you honestly kind of wish you had a library card here, so you can go back to the first castle using that. However, Swarm doesn't have one. So now he has to ask the question, where... Because I know where the final Vlad has to be. It has to be at Holy Glasses. It's just a question of where the random Vlad is. And for Swarm, that could be... In his mind, it could still be in the first castle. It's possible. So the question is, will he get baited to go back immediately? Oh, it looks like he is. Yep. I mean, this isn't enough time for Supers to really catch up, I don't think. I don't think there's a world where Super still catches up. There's no Soul of Bat. He decided to skip Soul of Bat, which is really rough. But Supers is going to warp back to entrance. He's going to get the final Vlad, but he's also going to full clear library, basically find nothing, and then be like, ah, you got me. Best case scenario is if Swarm did left side to find the random Vlad first and then found Gold Ring. So left side yet again wins, if you think about it. Don't think about it too hard, but if you think about it, left side does come out on top. Turns out, yet again, left side superiority reigns supreme. One of these days, I feel like for one of the matches, the competitors should just like agree, like, oh, left side only. No items, Fox only, left side only, final destination. The only real way to play. Imagine how different the game would be if there was like a Jewel of Open door blocking access to, I don't know, like the hallway between Castle Keep and Chapel. Then left side gaming would happen so much more often. Anytime there's no Jewel of Open, there'd be left side gaming. Superts finds glasses. It's probably going to go straight to the second castle if I know Superts. If I'm Superts, am I even aware of the current complexity? I guess Bat is just random distributed from Superts' perspective. What'd you miss? So far, Swarm is probably winning this race. Superts started off basically in the worst possible scenario where Superts skipped a location that Swarm did not. Literally the first check in the game. And because of that, Swarm has had Soul of Bat the entire time. Superts, on the other hand, is just opting to skip that location entirely, saying, I don't need it. So Superts will be playing through this route pretty much without Bat the entire time. Swarm is about to find the final Vlad relic. However, there is still a random Vlad missing. And Swarm is likely going to go to library now to check to see if the final Vlad relic is there from his perspective. But we know, because Superts has already been there, that it's not there. And that it's just in the second castle randomly. My guess is when Swarm goes back to the second castle, he might do left side from there. Because I feel like that's faster than warping to Alrox's quarters to get to Creature. But that's just me. Unless you intend on skipping Creature, which Swarm might intend on skipping Creature. He might actually, because he's going to Castle Keep, or sorry, to Outer Wall right now to do those checks, he might think to himself, fuck, I messed up by coming back this early. Now I need to skip Creature. That might be in his head. I don't know. It's possible, though. And then maybe Creature has the random Vlad. And maybe, now that Superts is finally checking this location, is going to find Soul of Bat. Superts finds Soul of Bat only about 45 minutes behind Swarm, but that's okay. That's not a big advantage or anything like that. You know what I mean? Soul of Bat is only the most important and most overpowered relic in the entire game. And having 45 minutes of Soul of Bat all to yourself is not much of an advantage. But Superts, god damn it, finds Soul of Bat. If I'm Superts, I'm pissed, by the way. I'm like, bro, this fucking, man, I could have just, oh, man, this fucking, oh. If Swarm dies at Galamoth, this is the seed that never ends. So true. I can't wait for Swarm to somehow die at Galamoth and then for us to be stuck here forever. It'll be great, though. That would be the craziest comeback of all time, though, if Superts end up winning it because Swarm, like, just dies. But I'm pretty sure the only way Swarm dies and loses all of his time is if specifically Galamoth has the relic and Swarm messes up the infinite without saving first. And then he has to reload a save from, like, you know, 40 minutes ago or whatever. Why is Superts in the library? Huh? Is he here to buy library cards, I guess? I guess that's... He must be here specifically to buy library cards. Because why else would you be here? Does he need better equipment? No shot you came back here to buy a Kingstone. That's it? No way. You came all this... Didn't you already do these checks? Did I make that up? Did he not actually check Soul of Bat? No, he did. This is probably... He must have thought the duplicator was 8K. Even then, I don't even think that's, like, worth it. The amount of time you can save from this scenario with a duplicator versus just going to beat the rest of the game, I don't think it's there. I don't think the math adds up. The duplicator saves a lot of time if you get it early enough, but this late in a seed, with just the second castle left, I feel like the duplicator doesn't save enough time. Even with infinite mana prisms, I don't think it saves enough time. Because there's always you're always gonna have enough mana to get to the next save room. So you're just gonna have to stop at like 4 or 5 save rooms. It might be close to even. Again, I think if you just execute better, then you're just saving time. Even if it is to buy a duplicator. Straight up. Well, Swarm is still so insanely far ahead, though. No, I feel like going back for a duplicator is like kind of like just not believing in your skill to just execute. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a backup plan where it's like, I don't feel confident in my MP management. So because of that, I'm just gonna have infinite mana. Because it's not even like faster at this point. Like you can full clear second castle without. Like, you can full clear second castle only needing, like, maybe 2 mana prisms at most. If you're really good at managing your mana. So it's like, the difference between having 1 mana prism and having infinite is not that big. Straight up. For the second castle specifically. Especially if you've already beaten every boss up to this point. You're going to be, like, level 20-something. Like, mid-20s. Like, that's a lot of MP in the bank. Oh, boo! Swarm's not going left side. Oh, God. Is he skipping creature? Or is he doing this warp and then going to creature? If so, that feels whack, right? It feels better to just not warp at all and just go straight to creature if you're going to do creature. Because at this point, you're going, like, this way, up, and then back around. Where the alternative is you just go straight there. You just do bloop. I haven't timed it personally, but my brain would be like, oh, if I need to go to creature, it's probably just faster to go left side at this point. Is Super's doing the left side gambit? Because Super's is grabbing the warp first. Excellent. Excellent. Oh, baby, here it is. Ooh, left side gambit. Left side gamers, please rise up. Swarm, if you skip creature, it won't matter because you're probably still going to win. But damn it, will it be funny? Let's hear it for our left side gamer, Superds. Spending a lot of time checking these items, though. Yeah. Aw, Swarm, he's skipping creature. All right, Superds, let's see that Vlad relic. Come on. Let's see it. Let's see that Vlad relic. Because then we will be here forever. Dude, imagine. Hear me out. Superds is going to save the game. He's going to do a save split after not finding the Vlad relic. Because he's not going to find the Vlad relic. Because it's going to be at creature. He's going to go all the way to Galamoth. He's going to die to Galamoth. And then he's going to go back to fight Creature instead of fighting Galamoth after dying. So actually, if Galamoth has the final Vlad Relic, maybe that's Super's win condition? Because if Swarm sets up a save split here, and he dies to Galamoth, he's going to reset all the way back in Caverns. So he's probably going to just abandon fighting Galamoth entirely, if that's the case. Yeah, Maulblong was picked up for Supers. I don't know if they have a good shield or not, though. Supers will need to go to Bees. That's fine. That'll happen eventually. In fact, if you do the full circle route, where you do left side all the way back around, Bees would be the next boss after fighting Galamoth. So that means Left Side Gaming is winning yet again. Actually, it might be worth testing to see how long it takes to get to Beelzebub for both left side and right side. Assuming you do all of left side and then go to Beelzebub versus doing all of right side. Because I feel like you probably get to Beelzebub around maybe a little bit slower as a left side gamer, but... Oh, that's nothing. Come on. Galamoth straight up needs to have the final Vlad Relic, I think. Because even if Superts finds the final Vlad Relic at Creature, Swarm is going to be just fine. Like he's just going to go to Creature after clearing the rest of it, and I don't think Superts has enough time. Did he not save split at all? Oh, it's Force of Echo. Okay, Galamoth can still be the win for Superts. Straight up, Galamoth could still be the win. Swarm straight up has to die to Galamoth. And then be like, fuck, I messed up. I'm going to go fight Creature. That is Supert's win condition right now. It's a 50-50 with some extra steps. So basically, Death cannot have the final relic here. Otherwise, Swarm just wins, obviously. Oh, man. I'm hoping for Galamoth here. I'm hoping for Galamoth. Let's see it. Oh, man. Man. Swarm already checked Trio, so we knew Trio couldn't be a Vlad Relic. At least it'll be a little bit quicker for Superts to end his misery. Man, literally just like... The deciding factor happened in the first 2 minutes of the speedrun, but we didn't see the end until almost an hour later. That just feels bad to lose immediately and then just sit through an hour-long cutscene, basically. Homie guessed wrong on like a 50-50, basically, at the very start of the run. And then had to like suffer through an hour-long cutscene where there was nothing he could do. That's rough. You know, sometimes that's the brutal nature of the randomizer. Also the brutal nature of like not respecting the Warlock tech, the Mist Rising tech. You got to respect it. You know what I mean? Like if you're part of this bracket, knowing that Warlock is a potential counter pick, you know your opponent's gonna take advantage of that tech. You got to be willing to also, you know, run with it. Now, this isn't the end of the set by any means, because this is 1-1 in the set, assuming Swarm doesn't super beef this on Dracula with 300 HP. So, Superts is still technically in this. He has to win the next race. And it will be Supert's counter pick, which is good. So we will see how that goes. Let's see if Swarm can clutch it up real quick here. I mean, he's getting tossed around. He's touching the balls a little too much, to be honest. Like, not giving enough respect to Shaft, but also not respecting the balls. Honestly, not ideal. Like, you have to understand the balls are there, but primarily, you need to work the shaft, right? Shaft is like the thing you need to prioritize, but you can't ignore the balls. If you just ignore the balls, it's going to be a bad time for everybody. And we'll Swarm, clutch it up. This is looking like a tough sell for a 1 cycle, to be honest. Asafune, I don't know if it does enough damage to 1 cycle. He is trying to do the back forward attack to get extra damage, but he's missing the input a decent amount. If you see the green slashes, that's that attack. However, it's probably hard to see anything because the screen is very small and the bit rate does not like the background in the Dracula fight. This is looking like a 2 cycle. Yep. Oh! Close one. Oh! Oh! Power of Mist saving Swarm from some big damage. Doritos attack. The Rainbow Doritos. Swarm does dodge it. No way this isn't a 2 cycle. Surely this is a 2 cycle. Oh my god. Dracula, there you go. Finally, GG's, Swarm, tying it up in the set. It is now 1-1. GG's. And I do have word from the competitors that we are not doing another race right now. We're going to have to reschedule for the 3rd match. So stay tuned for that. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. Join Patreon, join live stream. Join Discord. Any of those things would be nice. And I'll see you in the next one, YouTube. Peace out.